What's up guys, Dan Forlani here and welcome back to a new video. 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, a couple of weeks ago, I went to a Canon summit, the Canon R summit, and it was all about the Canon R series, Canon EOS R, R5, R6, R7, R10 and so on. And it's been great. I also got free stuff, like a scrapbook, a pen, and well, this is good, so I can drink my water or coffee from here. As I was saying, it's been great. I had the chance to meet many photographers and filmmakers and even a Spanish YouTuber who is also a Canon ambassador. So we have Greg does the photo here. Greg does the photo.
Hello there.
Awesome.
Hello.
So, you want to say something to our viewers?
I don't know. I'm so happy to be here with you.
But the most important thing is that I was able to try a few cameras and lenses, like the Canon R5C.
I've been thinking about you day and night. The way you're messing with my mind, I can't get enough.
The Canon C70. With the 85mm 1.2. Man. And I was able to get the sensor on my camera cleaned, so I lined up and spent so much time there waiting for my turn to find out eventually that my sensor was already very clean. They cleaned it anyway, but didn't need to. Anyways, while I was waiting, like lining up, I was at the point of the line that on my right there was one of the tables with the cameras there available to try, and I saw there was the Canon R7 available there. Nobody was using it, so while I was waiting I thought, just gonna shoot a couple of photos, like a few seconds like this. So I popped my SD card in there in the R7 and I pointed straight at the model there and I started to shoot. I shot something like, I don't know, 40 photos, something like that, to find out later when I saw the files, the photos from my computer, that more than 90% of the photos I shot were more than usable. And of that 90%, more than 90% of them were just awesome, like perfect. Just I didn't really have time to set the camera the way I wanted, especially the white balance, so I had to make things do with the colors I got. But still, the results were awesome. So I thought, this Canon R7, that's some camera. But then I thought, well, the Canon R7, as good as it might be, can be as good as my Canon R6, and it's not only because of its price. I mean, the R7 is like a grand cheaper than the Canon R6. So what's going on? Well, then I thought, okay, what lens was attached to the Canon R7 when I shot those photos? Well, it was the RF 85mm f2 stabilized. I said to myself, if these are the photos I could get in such a not ideal situation, like waiting in line for my turn to get the sensor on my camera cleaned, grabbing a camera without even adjusting the settings, and shoot randomly for a minute or two. There must be something about this lens. I gotta find out. So guess what? I got this lens. So even though I got this lens just yesterday in the morning, I can confirm it's just awesome. Well, the first thing I done, I took it immediately out along with my Canon R6 and I shot some photos. Photos of my wife and my daughter. Wait a minute, I don't have a daughter yet. Meaning, It's not born yet, but it looks like my son Michael is gonna have a little sister, because we were expecting. Well, I shot some photos of my wife with this bad boy, and let's see what happened. Alright, let me know what you think about it. Leave a comment down below and hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And check the links in the description to see all my gear stuff and things, my gear. And check the link to Epidemic Sound if you want 1 month of awesome music and great sound effects for free. Alright, so anyway, again, hit the like button and keep watching. What do I think about this lens now? First thing I noticed, it's like all the reviews I've read and watched also on YouTube, the autofocus is pretty good. I mean, it seldom misses. I mean, if you are in poor light conditions, like really low light, yes, it misses focus a lot, in spite of its relatively wide aperture, f2. It's actually pretty wide, yeah. And another thing, many people say you need f1.2 to get some great bokeh. Yeah, I agree. F1.2 is definitely better than f2, but only if you see them side by side. This lens, yes, it is f2, but it's in 85mm. That means there's a lot of compression, like in the background. So it gives us some great shallow depth of field, and even at f2.8, it produces some great results. And I shot most of these photos between f2 wide open and f4, but mostly I stayed between f2 and 2.8. And good news is it's pretty sharp, even wide open at f2. What's this lens good for? Who should use it? Well, I think first of all, when it comes to portrait, this lens is just almost perfect. Say almost because of course it's a $700 lens. It can't be as good, as awesome as the RF f1.2. But it's still a great lens. It's pretty sharp even at f2. It gives us some amazing bokeh in the background if that's what we're looking for. The autofocus is pretty good, but not very fast. It's not as low as I was expecting, because after watching so many videos about it, I was expecting something like so slow, and it's actually not. But at the same time, I don't think it's a lens I would carry with me if I have to shoot sport events. Like for sport, I don't think this is the right lens, but I think it's good for almost everything else. Like, of course, portraits. I mean, according to my experience, when it comes to portrait, my preference, like for man, is usually the focal length of 50mm, because it complements like masculine features. But it's good for women too. Just that's my preference when it comes to taking photos of man. For women, yeah, the 85mm is just incredible, because it gives almost no distortion whatsoever, and it complements like female features so much. That doesn't mean that it's not good for men. Careful, it's good for both. Just as I mentioned, for shooting women, this focal length, the 85mm, in my opinion, it's the best option. And with this lens, you can shoot like the entire body, the entire subject from far away, but not really far away, let's say 12 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, something like that. You can shoot portraits from a little bit closer. And some other peculiarity of this lens I haven't mentioned before, it's also a kind of a macro lens. Yeah, it's in the name macro, the name of this lens, RF 85mm, f2, IS STM Macro, but it's not actually a real 100% macro lens. But still, we can get very good results with it. We can focus from relatively near, like from 30 centimeters, like so near. It's just a few inches. And the other thing is it has stabilization, and its stabilization is pretty good also because it interacts with the IBIS of the camera. So when they work in combination, the stabilization of the lens and the IBIS of the Canon R6, we can take photos even at the very low shutter speed, and that's incredible. The photos I shot them all handheld. I had my tripod with me, yes, but it stayed in its case. I didn't even take it out. Shot everything handheld. Well, that's just incredible. Alright, I'm gonna make more videos about this lens, especially with the Canon R6, so I'll show you more stuff. And I'll be covering the video part, like making videos, b-rolls and stuff with this lens in one of my next videos very soon. Alright, now I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, smash the like button right now and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh yeah.